Hi everyone, I hope you all are doing well. It has been a little while since I've done a voiceover, so it's really nice to be back. This week's video was a really exciting one for me to make. GenCrafts was nice enough to send me a set of their 50 gouache tubes to test out and give my opinion on, so I'm super excited to talk about these paints this week. I really love working with gouache, so I was super happy to get to try out this set for you all. The first thing I noticed when I opened this set was the quality of the box they come in. These paints come in separate tubes stored in a nice compact box that would be pretty easy to tote around or store in your desk or in a backpack. The box has all of the colors labeled on the outside and is divided into 5 sections with 10 tubes in each section. Here's a shot of all of the paints being taken out of the box and laid out so you can see them all. You get 12 milliliters of paint in each, which is not a lot, but with such a large variety of colors, I think this amount will still last a very long time. The only thing I wish this set had was maybe a double of the white color, since I tend to use up my white really quickly with gouache paints. Each tube is quite sturdy and compact. You have to pierce the top to get the paint, and then you'll need a separate palette to squeeze the tubes onto. For this video, I am using Strathmore disposable palette sheets, which worked really well with these paints. Since gouache paint is water soluble, I didn't have trouble reactivating the paints with water again when I stepped away from my painting for some time. So while I think the presentation of these gouache paints was great, the most important thing I think everyone wants to know is the paint quality. For this painting, I am working on another Irish landscape. I think landscapes are great for testing out products because I really get to try a large range of color to test out the vibrancy and opacity of these paints. In this painting, I began with a darker blue tone, using that to sketch in my composition before going over it with the paint. The first positive thing I noticed was the extreme range of colors I had to choose from. I was able to spend less time mixing and blending new colors since I had all sorts of ranges of blues and greens and yellows to pull directly from. I was able to color match much quicker and achieve a larger range of tones much faster than I would have with a typical 6-tone to 24-tone palette. The colors mixed and blended really easily together on the palette, and they reacted well with the Canson watercolor paper I was using to paint on. They also worked really well with synthetic brushes, and they didn't require a lot of water to cleanly blend with each other. I think the only critical point I can make about this set is the opacity of some of the lighter colors, especially the white tone. As you see in this video, I spent a lot of my initial time layering the paints over and over to achieve the level of color richness I wanted. I only really struggled with the light grays and the white, and the white was a little bit light and difficult to see when painted directly from the tube to the paper. I did eventually have to pull out some white acrylic paint to get some of the white tones back in the clouds and the lighthouse. Gouache in general is less opaque than traditional acrylic paint, so I wasn't entirely surprised by this since this is a common thing with most gouache sets. Having to be more patient with layering also wasn't necessarily a bad thing since it forced me to really use and blend multiple colors in my composition instead of one flat tone. So while I did have trouble with the gray tones and white in this set, the rest of the colors were extremely vibrant and fun to work with. I have never had so many colors in a paint set before, so I was having so much fun just adding random oranges and browns to places in the grass just for fun. I think the darker tones are really excellent in this set. The black and darker greens and blues were extremely opaque and they laid down really nicely on the page on top of my lighter tones. I think another big thing with these reviews is talking about the price. I'm a student, so I know how important it is to consider price ranges when choosing art supplies that are good quality but also affordable. This set of 50 gouache tubes retails for $60 US, so each tube costs roughly $1.20. I think this is a really great price range for gouache considering most gouache tubes tend to retail from $4 to $7 per tube. This set offers a complete range of any color you would need for any type of project. But if 50 tubes sounds like too much, GenCrafts also offers this set in a 24 tube collection for $34, which I think is a really great price range if you're just looking to get started on painting with gouache. Like the 50 gouache tube set, the 24 set retails for just over $1 per tube, which I think is a really good deal considering how many colors you can get with this set. The 24 set comes in very similar packaging and contains a really rich range of colors that would be sufficient for any type of project. I'll have links to both gouache sets in the description box below. Gouache is such a fun medium because it's really expressionist and light. You can work on multiple gouache pieces in one sitting without needing to wait for things to dry for hours. It's one of my favorite mediums to sketch in and to work on casually. So back to the painting itself, this piece is another study of coastal Ireland. Ireland really has some of the most beautiful seaside views in my opinion, so I'm always so excited to paint them. I'm currently working on some bigger Ireland pieces that I will hopefully get to share with you all really soon, so doing these smaller scale gouache studies has been a fun exercise for those. Well, that is it for this painting. Thank you so much to GenCrafts for sending me a set of their gouache paints to review. I had a lot of fun working on this piece and getting to share my opinion on these paints with you all. If you're interested in checking these paints out, I will have links for everything in the description. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you all in the next video really soon.